Hey guys, Petzergling and Daz here, bringing you the 2 set of the final MSL group, Group D. This is Kwanro versus Horang2 on Neo Harmony. So we're going to see a little bit of PvZ here. And I'm kind of glad. I mean, a group full of Protosses. I think that last game was actually our first Protoss versus Protoss that we've commentated. So back to some basics here.
I think you're right.
And ZVP on Neo Harmony was actually the first game that we commentated in the MSL, the Savior Vesprisu game. So a little bit of new shit, a little bit of flashbacks, but definitely a different level. I mean, Kwanro, he's an okay player. Like, he's been around for a while. He's been, like, winning. You know, he's not, like, a new guy, but he isn't exactly good, you know? So, I mean, I'm not, like, really surprised to see him here, but I'd be surprised. I guess in a group like this, I'm not really surprised to see him leave if he does leave. But, you know, I'd be surprised to see him do well in the round of 16. And Horang2, a fairly new player. I mean, he just pretty much started playing, but he beat Flash, and he didn't knock Flash out, of course, but he did beat him in a fucking awesome game, and for sync 2-1-0. But yeah, against Flash, he proxied 2 gateways in the middle of the map and built DTs, and I'm gonna bring that up every single time because that is honestly like the funniest build ever. I think that is just fucking awesome.
The son of a bitch, that's my build. He copied that.
That's every Protoss's dream build. Yeah, fuck you.
It's pretty much unbeatable.
It is. You just fucking attack Dark Templars in their base and doesn't afraid of anything.
Pretty much, but I mean the only reason you don't see it more often is because we all know Protoss is so super unbalanced and like so easy for us to just dominate everyone else that like we just don't want to. We just want to give you a break. Like we don't want to fucking just win every game outright before.
Right, people would stop playing you if you actually use good build.
Exactly. Just want to give Terrans a chance, so is why we don't fucking do that every game.
Yep, so we got Kwanro spawning in the stupid-ass neutral blue Zerg color in the bottom left, and Horang2 spawning in the red Protoss in the upper left. And looks like going for a Forge Fast Expand, I'd have to guess. A little bit favoring to Zerg this map, I would say, just because it's kind of got a really strange natural, so, you know, whatever way you decide to do it, you really kind of have to gimp your Sim City, and I think with this 5-hatch build, Macro's been really favoring towards Zerg, especially in the mid-game with players trying to go for builds like Sayer Reaver or Sayer DT, but Horang2 getting lucky here and actually getting his probe in Kwanro space, and I haven't seen a spawning pool yet. No, and it looks like Kwanro's going for a 12-hatch or a 12 pool, and he's probably going to be forced to go for a 12 pool at this point, just because there's no way he's going to get that. And there's the pool down now, so I can't imagine he's going to get a hatch down without a few Zerglings. I mean, Horang2 is probably going to pile on it. And just a note, Horang2's name is actually Tiger. Like, that's like Horang2 is the Korean word for tiger, but not like the 2, obviously. It's like Horang2. But he like shortened it because that's like lead speak, but in Korean, you know what I mean?
I didn't even know Koreans knew about lead speak, to tell you the truth. I think that's the first time we've ever seen lead speak in a Korean pro gamer's name. At least as far as I can remember.
Pretty awesome, though.
So,
just
I mean,
a DT Protoss. Just with the, I mean, he beat Flash, and his name is Lead Speak. I mean, he's awesome.
I'm predicting him to win the fucking tournament, basically, is what I'm gonna go.
If he goes DTs like that every game.
Beats Flash. Too bad you can't proxy gate DT against Zerg, otherwise I'd vote for him for this game. Wow,
why did he throw down those 2 cannons there? Did Kwanro go for a 12 pool or did he overpool? Because I don't.
Yeah, he went for 12 pool.
Can't you get Nexus down before 2 cannons, especially on a map like this?
Yeah, you would, but I don't like the timing seems a little strange. Yeah, I would say normally you can.
I mean, obviously his timing is right. I mean, there's no way. Like, if he would have started the cannons, you know, 400 minerals later, I don't think he would have got that out in time.
Yeah,
so that seems kind of strange. Right.
Maybe we missed something. Maybe he did overpool. I think he did.
Maybe he did a super secret like extractor glitch 10 pool build.
Well, no, we would have. I mean, he wouldn't have had so many drones if he did. He must have overpooled. We must have just totally missed it, and he must have overpooled because we were busy.
Yeah, we're awful.
Sorry. Yeah, really. Why do you guys even watch this shit? Come on.
No, I don't think so. I mean, he had a bunch of drones building. No, I'm pretty sure it was a 12 pool. I'm gonna stick to my guns.
It could not have. That was a 12 pool. Zerglings that early with a 12 pool, unless you know what though? Maybe Horang2 did some wild shit. Like who knows? But at this point, I don't think it's very important anymore. What's more important to note is that the timing of the hatchery and the Nexus is pretty standard. The Nexus is a little behind the hatchery, which is what you would normally see. It's an even game. and both players opening up standard, especially Kwanro doing the standard, taking a third somewhere else on the map, which we've been seeing all the time on this map, and lately in a lot of maps in TV, and just going into really heavy macro style play, which I hate to say it, it pains me to say it, but it's been totally dominating Protoss lately. Like,
yeah, I mean,
I don't know, so far in this
there have
MSL
been few and far between games where like Protoss just like handily beats Zerg using this build. I mean, you've seen some really good Protoss players beat some mediocre Zerg players, but I mean, it seems like especially when you don't have an S-class Protoss player, when you just have kind of a normal Protoss player, even against a not so great Zerg player, you saw by the stats, Kwanro wasn't a big favorite. It just seems like the Zerg have just been dominating lately. I mean, I would expect though that Horang2 would try and go for some sort of harassment. I mean, he's got the probe and a zealot out, and he's probably going to building some more, but he did get his Stargate before his +1, so he's probably not going to be going for any sort of strange early +1 build, which I honestly think is a pretty strong counter to this build. I mean, you have so many drones early, but if you could force the Zerg to make a lot of Zerglings early on as opposed to building up his drone count, but once the Spire goes down and Zerg puts down his 4th and 5th hatcheries, like, it's really tough unless you did something like high to 3rd base or something. And Spire going up, but he didn't take the gas at his natural, as you can just see. So I'm guessing we're only going to see some Scourge and pretty much the same build that we've been seeing every single Zerg do from here on.
Yeah, that's probably what we're going to see. I mean, the thing is with this build, I mean, it's a good all-around Zerg build. A really fast timing push would give it some trouble, but you can definitely get, I mean, if you scout it, if you see it coming, you can definitely just cut some drones and build up some lings and some hydras, because I mean, you're getting so many hatcheries so early that it's kind of hard to kill you. Although Kwanro actually seems to be pretty low on hatcheries. I think normally you would have a 4th hatchery down by this time, but I don't know, I'm not 100% sure on the Zerg timings. Either way, I mean, the reason I'm surprised that lately the games that we've been seeing Zerg using this, the Protoss have always been going for kind of a Reaver build, like a Sair Reaver into quick ground troop transition, and then doing like a push with speed zealots, and we've been seeing that all the time, and that build has just been totally getting owned by this build. And I'm surprised that Protoss haven't just been doing the 4-gate 2 Archon timing push, which is, I mean, just an overall really strong build. I mean, it doesn't counter what the Zerg is doing, but it puts you on an equal footing at the very least. It gives you a good amount of map control for a short period of time, depending on what the Zerg is doing, and it just gives you a lot of openings. Where it seems that I mean, lately the Protosses, I mean, when they're doing this kind of Reaverish build, the Zerg's macro is just so strong that they're just able to build like an amazing amount of hydras and just totally overwhelm them. Like we saw it happen to Cal, who's a PvZ master. We saw it happen to Bisu, and we've just been seeing it over and over again. And so, I mean, what I'm really trying to say is it looks like Horang2 is doing this build, and I don't know why. I don't know why Protoss are still doing it. I mean, he knows what Kwanro is up to. He was able to get a lot of scouting information and keep his probe in there for a long period of time. Okay, it looks like he's going to move out with 4 Zealots to try to put some pressure down, but I don't think this is going to be able to do. Okay, yeah. He saw the Zealots coming. He's putting down some sunken colonies, and he has Zerglings, so he's going to be able to hold this off pretty easily. He's got Scourges out in the standard way to prevent. No, he runs him right in there. What a baller. Going right in there. The guy. I mean, good way to find an opening there by Horang2. I mean, that's kind of the things you have to do with Protoss. If you want to harass a Zerg, you have to be really sneaky and find these little openings. But it doesn't look like he's going to do much damage here. At the very least, though, he's getting a lot of scouting information, which helps a lot. You know, and now he knows pretty much exactly what's going on with the Zerg.
Yeah, he got 5 drones there. He's going to get us. Oh, wow, that was actually really close there. Yeah, that was 5 drones, and he almost got that 6th one.
That was pretty good.
And he did get some scouting information, so I think, you know, it's not an optimal trade, but I mean, considering that, A, he forced him to build 2 Sunkens, and B, he ran by, so he forced him to build some additional units. I mean, I think that was an overall fair trade, but, you know, it seems like this is just such a tough position for the Protoss to be in, and now it looks like right after the Reaver comes out, he's going to transition straight into Gateway, so he's not going to stick to a Sayer Reaver opening, which, you know, I think is a good move, but I don't think starting with the Sayer Reaver early on is that good. I mean, he is building up a large number of Corsairs, but because of the early Spire, he's forced to keep those Corsairs in his base. And look at that. I mean, just really good play from Kwanro. I think both players are actually playing surprisingly smart here. I mean, we see Horang2 using that scouting information, going straight to observers because he knows that he doesn't have to worry